So I'm going to be talking about systematic human error in debate protocols. Debate is arguably one of our most promising strategies for overcoming the scalable oversight problem. Scalable oversight being this question of how we can monitor systems that are potentially more intelligent than the supervisors themselves. Um, so the debate protocol, in a simplified version, you have two copies of the same model, so they're capability matched. One copy, Alice, or the prover, has to decompose a claim that a human can't judge the truth of um, in the first instance into a series of subclaims that conjunctively support the main claim. And then Bob, or the estimator, has to decide which of those subclaims the he thinks are false. Um, this process then repeats. So the claims that Bob thought were false then become the main claim. Alice has to decompose those. This repeats until such a point that a human can come in, or a weaker LLM, and judge the falsity of the leaf claims of the debate. Um, Alice wins if she makes claims that turn out to be true according to the human judge. Bob wins if he successfully identified claims that a human thinks are false. It's a zero-sum game, so whenever Alice wins, Bob loses, and vice versa. And then this can act as a reward signal that recurses up the tree, and models can be trained, therefore, to track truth, to be more honest by self-play through debate. But the debate protocol has a number of flaws. It assumes that the models have access to unlimited compute. It assumes that the models can't obfuscate their arguments, that they're operating in a semantically transparent language, so you can read off the truth conditions straight from the natural language gloss. It assumes no collusion between the debaters. And fundamentally, it assumes the judge, although they're capability bounded, are ideal. They never make mistakes. They never make errors, which clearly, in the case of human judges or weaker model judges, is an implausible assumption. So the worry is that playing debate, using debate to train models to be more truthful or honest, will ultimately arrive at models that aren't truthful, but actually are learning to exploit the biases of the judge. So consider a human judge who makes systematic errors. They have a false positive rate and a false negative rate for certain subsets of the claim space. A debater can achieve a higher win rate by triggering judge biases than by presenting truthful arguments if they can direct the debate in the direction of claims that the human judge is biased against. So to think about this a bit more formally, Alice is a decomposer. She decomposes a claim into a set of subclaims that conjunctively support the main claim. Bob selects from those claims that he thinks are false. This process repeats, and then a judge returns a judgment about whether the final claims of the debate are true or false. Now, if we assume that there's a false positive rate or a false negative rate for the judge, then there's some exploitation strategies. Alice can win when the main claim is false by maximizing the minimum false positive rate across all possible decompositions and selections that she and Bob can make. Vice versa, Bob can exploit when the main claim is true by maximizing the minimum false negative rate across those decompositions and selections. There's some assumptions to this, but if the certain conditions are in place, then we're not training models to be more truthful. We're actually training models to become better deceivers of the humans who are making judgments about their behavior. So some examples of some biases that could be exploited. The cognitive science literature is replete with them, but the example of the availability bias. So New York is the capital of New York. New York State is false, but lots of people think it's true because New York is most available and most representative of New York State. There's probabilistic biases. There's authority biases. There's all sorts of things that clever debaters could exploit to win without being truthful. So one strategy that we're exploring to try and rectify this is to rely on wisdom of the crowds, and instead of having a single human judge or a single LLM judge, we have an aggregate of a jury of judges. There's a rich design space to explore here in terms of how you allow the interaction between members of the jury. Do you allow them to deliberate? Do you allow them to weight their judgments by confidence? Do you do some judge pre-screening? And if this works, then we're able to drive down the space of possible the size of the space of possible subclaims that the juries are biased towards. But this only works when judges are relatively uncorrelated. If they're correlated, then we can actually amplify error by introducing juries. Lots of open questions here, and so I'd love to get feedback and to talk to you about it afterwards. Thank you very much.